All right, you guys, today we are going to freshen up this grow out. It's been about over a year. We're going to start with applying K18 6 to 10 sprays and wait for 4 minutes. Let it dry if you need to. You can dry it. This is going to help with the elasticity and keeping the hair strong through the lightening surface. Then after I apply this K18 product, we're going to go in with another K18 product, and we are going to prep the hair by spraying same sections. And since the hair is already wet, I'm not having to use a water bottle to spray. If I was just using this standalone treatment before my color and not the chelating one prior, I would spray her head with a water bottle, and then you go through and spray and then brush it. Now we're going to be detailing her hairline. So as you can see, I have her section from the front to the back of her hairline. And we're going to go in and we are going to detail this and make it right for her. One of the most important things is making that front hairline nice and bright for my clients. We're going to go through and we are taking this whole section right here, lifting it up and then holding it nice and tight and pressing and holding and making sure the foil is in place is super important. Now we're going down. Your lightener is like your glue, so applying your lightener to the foil, and then we are going to feather with the corner of the brush. And so this is going to help prevent any bleeding, too much product up at the starting of the foil. And then we will fold. Folding is super important as to how secure it keeps the foil in and from slipping. Depending on their hair density, I might fold both sides or one side. Her hair is a little bit on the fine side, so we're folding both. And now I just did a teasy light. And once again, we're going to flip that over the comb, lift it all the way up, hold that tension. And then I'm going to brush up and away those little flyaways. And now when I apply, see how I did that in an upward motion? So instead of a straight down, we did an upward feathering because that's going to help with diffusing. It's all about diffusing. Going through, and see that one was pretty secure, so I felt the need for it just to have one fold over. I'm working in a forward diagonal section, and then once again you're going to see me grab this whole entire section and we're going to teasy it. If they're wanting a brighter, bolder money piece or hairline halo, I would go through and detail it with baby lights. We're wanting to make sure this is bold and bright, but I also want it to be lived in so it's forgiving when it grows out. So I'm going to be doing back-to-back teasy lights, working my way around the front hairline foil section and the back hairline foil section. And I am just targeting her outgrowth, making sure that I am not overlapping on top of any of her already previously blonde pieces, because we don't want to have breakage. Even though I already prepped her hair with K18, keeping an eye on the integrity of the hair and where you're placing everything is essential. When you are working up the hairline, it's keeping an eye on where that placement is. And you can see I did her whole front and back. And now let's get into how I'm going to conquer the sides. You can see my sectioning is forward underneath the crown right there, and I work from right side to left side. This is really going to allow me to cover as much as I can. Now with these first sections, I'm going to make sure I'm smoothing the hair, holding a tight tension, and we're going to hand paint. I'm just wanting to tip out this underneath. I'm not looking for any bold high contrast. Doing a paint like this is going to give a soft diffusion, and we're really working on making sure we're getting rid of that outgrowth, and this is going to help diffuse with that outgrowth, leaving out her already blonde ends. And then we're going to go to the left side, and I'm going to repeat what I just did.
There we are.
Hand
Back
painting,
at it.
and you can see
It
I
is
have
out of
my
focus, but let me get right back into focus for you guys.
here.
Hold on.
And now we are hand painting. We're applying the lightener on her mids, and that is where we build up the lightener. And then you can see that I'm feathering it up. My big head's in the way right now. I'm feathering it up, and that's going to help with the diffusion and prevent any harsh lines with the grow out. This is also going to give her a more rooty look, which we're going for. And now I'm going to be working on the right side of the head. I just did one paint on the back of each. Now we're going to be doing forward diagonal sections with my sectioning and making sure that you're keeping your sections nice and clean. I like to flip and clip the hair to the other side. And now, as you can see, I am going to smooth and brush this all the way down. And we are once again going to hand paint. We're building up our foundation, applying all the lightener, and then we're going to manipulate the lightener by feathering up. This feathering up technique, like I said, it's going to help give that diffusion. And with the front hairline, you guys saw that I did teasy lights. So the teasy lights are really going to help blending in with the balayage that I'm now doing on the rest of her head. And now you're seeing I'm insulating with foils. I do a diagonal forward foil fold to cover over just the areas at her new growth. Since the ends sticking out have been lightened, I'm going to let those air out, air dry, and stop the developing faster. Now we're going into a forward diagonal back, and what you can see with this specific sectioning that I use, right side to left side of the head, I am covering right side, left side. Usually you would see a crown area, right side, left side. I feel like that takes more time. So I'm cutting down the time by working from right to left. And I'm giving this to you guys in real time. So you're seeing how long it takes for me just to get that perfect sectioning. I'm combing it nice and flat, making sure that there's no bumps. And then I am keeping my section. See how I work to really get that in my fingers? I'm not pinching the hair. My hand that's holding the hair, it's sliding, and it's not pinching that hair, it's holding it nice and flat. And we're loading up the lightener, and then we're feathering it up. Now, I would call this full panels, and full panel is when you're highlighting from one side of the section all the way to the other. Now, this full panel is going to give a little bit more of a diffused root look. Sometimes when I'm painting a full panel, see those little gaps up at the root area? That will actually be completely filled in with lightener, and that's going to really mimic a baby light. With how I am feathering up and leaving that dimension in between, it kind of looks like zigzags going up and down at her root area. That's going to give me more rootage, as you would say, and so then it will be more forgiving as it starts to grow out. And I'm conducting with the foils. I'll get into that in a whole nother video, but you'll either see I use foils or film or mesh. It kind of just depends on what the lift is needed. And in this one, it is definitely foils needed. Another forward diagonal back on this section. And once again, you're gonna see me really brush and comb down the hair and keeping a tight tension. Now I could sit here and walk through, but I'm gonna let you guys just kind of watch me paint the rest of this section. If you have any comments on this stuff, put it down below, and then I'll start talking again once I rinse her out. Now I'm finishing with K18 again. This is going to detox her hair, and then the leave-in mask. You ready for it? Bam! This formula is beautiful. Express 9P VR Rusk.